Hello and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports. And some breaking news as RASSIE ERASMUS has been banned by World Rugby again. And we did wonder what was going to be the outcome of RASSIE ERASMUS's Twitter antics. And this is the result. World Rugby have suspended RASSIE ERASMUS from all matchday activities for 2 matches as a result of recent social media posts, as does say the World Rugby statement. But yeah, so some pretty big news. I know RASSIE ERASMUS involved in this weekend's clash against Italy, nor for the clash against England, unless they claim that he was supposed to be involved in the match tonight. That's an interesting, actually, a little bit of technicality. If I was RASSIE ERASMUS, I would then phone into SAA tonight and claim that was one of the matches. But anyway, that's for technicality for another time. But before we sort of break down the press release, please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. So this is the statement. So we just saw it. It literally came out a couple of minutes ago. And it says that World Rugby has issued SA Rugby Director of Rugby, RASSIE ERASMUS, with a ban on all matchday activities for 2 matches as a result of social media posts. World Rugby has reviewed the recent social media posts by SA Rugby Director of Rugby, RASSIE ERASMUS, that relate to match officiating in the Autumn Nation Series. Match officials are the backbone of sport, and without them, there is no game. World Rugby condemns any public criticism of match official selection, performance, or integrity, which undermines their role, the trust-based coach/match officials feedback process, and the values of integrity, respect, solidarity, and discipline that are the heart of the sport. Bit of a dangerous thing to condemn any public criticism of match officials selection, I suppose. They're not actually talking about the match official itself. Anyway, well, they kind of are with performance and integrity. It's a bit of a weirdly word statement. The behavior of the coaching staff and match officials are widely observed by fans, media participants at every level, and such behaviors affect how the values are applied across the game. In addition, under the match officials communication framework, national teams have the ability to enter into a confidential feedback process, which is critical for the success in a high-performance environment. The success of these communications relies on direct and honest feedback, which is delivered and received in a confidential way. In line with the framework, World Rugby has the ability to impose a sanction where a breach has occurred. Having considered the matter, World Rugby has issued a 2-match ban against RASSIE ERASMUS, and accordingly, he may not take part in any matchday activity in relation to the 2 upcoming test matches that South Africa has against Italy on the 19th of November and England on the 26th of November. The ban includes engagement with media and social media in relation to match officials. So RASSIE ERASMUS may not. I wonder what happens, actually. I mean, if he now goes and tweets anything about match officials, he's back in hot water. But either way, no media engagement, no involvement in match day activities. So from my understanding, he'll still be able to, it's pretty much like the ban, the second part of his ban. Basically, he'll still be able to be involved in training sessions, but he won't be involved on the day itself. And I think this has been coming, and it's probably maybe a good thing in many ways, because it was getting out of hand to a certain degree. I can understand the frustration. You can understand where it all sort of comes from, and he was quite frank about, where it could come from. And I think he was sort of trying to pass it off as, trying to engage with fans, which I don't think anybody was really buying. But I think the biggest thing is, I think a lot of South African fans, well, some of them South African fans, I mean, a lot of people are saying that I'm clueless and I'm not looking at the incidents and he's got every right to do it. Again, I've got no issue with criticizing the officials. It kind of comes with how you do it. And in theory, there is a process in place where you do give feedback to World Rugby. So it kind of begs the question, why does he keep on doing it? So is it a case of there is a system that World Rugby are implementing and he's not happy with the system, and therefore that's why he's going to public to try and put pressure on them? What is the reasoning to why he's doing it? Because the one thing about RASSIE ERASMUS, he doesn't do things by accident. There's always a reason to what he does. So, putting all these clips and stuff up, it's so much more than just him complaining about a loss, because there's always reasons to it. And some people are saying that's to try and hold World Rugby accountable. You can't take on World Rugby. This is now the second time he's been banned. And we're a year out from the World Cup. We can't really afford to have our director of rugby being banned in the year of the World Cup. So I do think this will mark the end, one hopes, of the issues between RASSIE ERASMUS and match officials. Again, I feel that this statement is missing the whole part of how referees are reviewed. And I think that's kind of become one of the very annoying, or sort of pressing match that fans are asking is, and I think if you're more transparent about it, I think you'll get a lot of these sort of issues solved in terms of how these officials are ranked, what goes on behind the scenes, what is the rating system, what is the review system, and I think if you come out and you just be a bit more transparent about how these referees are rated and how, what the progression is, and people understand that there is a whole system in place, which there must be and there will be, but we just don't know what it is. I think that'll go a long way, for example. But I feel like this ban has kind of been coming, and again, RASSIE ERASMUS has towed the line, pushed the line. He continues to push the line, and went too far this week. I mean, I think people sort of brushed it apart, or aside rather, when they saw the sort of the Irish tweets, but the French tweets, there were so many of them, and they were so, whilst not calling him into it, sort of subtle digs all the time. It does create a bit of a gray area in terms of what you can and can't say on social media, doesn't it? And as well as to what social media is versus to what you say in the media. So, for example, Eddie Jones was saying the other day he's worried about too many penalties in rugby. Now, nothing happened about that, but that's just a passing comment. So, again, it'll be interesting to sort of see what sort of they classify as going after the referee. What are you allowed to say? What are you not allowed to say? Now, obviously, going and posting clips where you're suggesting the referee are getting things wrong is one of the more extreme sort of examples. But it will be interesting to see, because this obviously sets a precedent. This is not the second time he's been banned. Any sort of major action sets a precedent. So it'll be interesting to see how this gets applied in the future sort of years to come. But I think the main thing is this needs to be the end of the RASSIE ERASMUS versus the referee conundrum. We've got to put it to bed. You've got to get over it now. We've got to really sort of go back to using the World Rugby communications. And even if you don't think they work, for the sake of South African rugby, RASSIE ERASMUS can't afford to be doing it, because he's going to get banned again, and we're going to lose him, and we're not going to have him for the World Cup, and we need to have him for the World Cup. So it's a bit of an interesting situation, because whilst he feels that he's doing the right thing, we can't have it. We can't afford not to have him at the World Cup. So we've got to make sure it comes to an end. And surely this will be a second ban. Surely has to be sort of the final straw, where he now sort of packs it up and goes back to posting videos of himself dancing and drinking and stuff like that. That's kind of the RASSIE content we like to see. But let me know what you think. Do you agree with the ban? Down in the comments below. Do you think it's harsh? Do you think it's not harsh enough? Where do you sit regarding this? Please do smash like on the video. Please do subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Steven. I'll chat to you soon.